Hey everybody, this is Chris Miller for another episode of Missed Calls with Coach Miller. And in case you haven't realized, it's the middle of July and it's a little hot outside. So if your air conditioner isn't working, you need to give Home by SMCI a call today. They'll come in and take care of that thing right away. They'll get your home feeling like home because that's why they call it Home by SMCI. So give them a call today at 636-337-4444 and get that taken care of today so you can be nice and cool. So after a couple weeks, there's been a lot of stuff going on in sports. I'm sure I could go into a lot of our St. Louis Cardinals talk. I feel like I'll save that for the coach's box call like we see at podcasts, which I'm sure everybody else will have an opinion about. But this is a topic that I think is kind of flew under the radar, and I'm kind of a little bit upset about it, even though I don't really follow the NBA too much anymore. But the NBA plans on unveiling a mid-season tournament starting next year. And I guess on the surface, I guess that's great because it's going to make the league more money. And that's what everybody who's in the business of sports wants, is more money. But I think it really sucks. And Commissioner Adam Silver is really excited about it. He unveiled that a few weeks ago. And here's the problem. It's a mid-season tournament. What's the point? And I guess in Europe, I'm not from Europe. I don't ever want to be in Europe. I have no reason to go to Europe. I don't even really want to vacation in Europe. But apparently, this is a European style thing where they have mid-season tournaments within their clubs. It kind of sounds like soccer or something like that. And that's great. I mean, if it was a college kind of thing where you have a bunch of different teams, they have those kind of like those preseason tournaments. Those are fine and dandy. I have no problem with that. Play as many as you want. In high school sports, I love tournaments. It gets you away from home, gets you playing on neutral court. And next thing you know, boom, 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 you have an opportunity to play for a trophy, and that parlays into your goals as a coach in a program. But the midseason tournament in the NBA is kind of an interesting one. I don't really think it makes sense. Okay, we already have enough players. I'll give you a few reasons. Number one, we already have enough players that take games off because of load management. And if this isn't important, I'll use the great LeBron James, who speaks in third person when I say this. It doesn't make any sense. He's not going to put his body on the line for a tournament that doesn't count. And I want to repeat this. It doesn't count. There really isn't any point. And we'll go into a little bit on how the NBA is structuring this. So here's the framework that they want to use to start with next season. This isn't even like, hey, this must have been stewing on the stove for a while on the back burner. And Adam Silver, with his great public speaking abilities that he has, comes out and starts talking about this. So here's how this is going to be. The league will be divided into 6 pools of 5 teams apiece. Again, European style. So there we go. The pools will be composed of teams from the same conference, but that does not mean they will be based on divisions. Okay. On designated days during the first 6 weeks of the season, teams will play 4 group games. That means that they will play each team in their pool once, with 2 games coming at home and 2 on the road. All right. The winner of each of the 6 pools will advance to the single elimination stage, along with 2 wild card teams. Woo, wild card. The exact method of determining the wild card teams has not been specified yet. Probably just you seem like you draw more people. We'll just put you in. Who knows? The semifinals and the finals of the tournament will be held at a neutral site. The players on the winning tournament team would receive $500,000 each. So there's your bribe. That's what it is. It's a bribe to get these players to play in it. The NBA schedule released in the offseason will include only 80 games apiece for each team. Normally, it's an 82-game season. The teams that do not advance to the knockout stage will have 2 more games added to their schedule. The teams that reach the tournament finals will play 83 total games. Okay, obviously, the idea is still new for most people in America because we don't really think about something like that. Now, the WNBA has this Commissioner's Cup thing. I don't know enough about it. I don't care enough about it. I think the WNBA has some really good basketball players, and I think their brand of basketball is good. I'm just not interested in watching the WNBA. It's just plain and simple. But the competition, the way this is set up is more like European soccer. And again, everybody knows how my feelings are on soccer. I just don't like soccer. It's just one of those. I'm not going to. I don't find it enjoyable. I have a lot of respect for people who play soccer, but the way that this is set up, like we just need to have this tournament in the middle of all of this. We're playing for a purpose. We're trying to advance. We're trying to have a chance of winning an NBA championship. Why in the hell do I want to have a tournament that's just like here, shoved in the middle of the season? It doesn't mean anything. Here, you'll get $500,000 a piece. If I'm LeBron, I'm making $500,000 a piece when I open my mouth and say 10 words. Why do I need that kind of money? So you're not gonna get these superstars. You got load management guys, like I was going back and saying, they're not gonna do this. They're just not. I don't see the only way to do is they up the bribe, pay them money under the table. I don't know, advertise for like, hey, if you shoot this commercial, we'll give you some more money above the $500,000, and that's for winning. You're a winning player. What if you don't win? I don't care. My team isn't very good this year. I'm a superstar. I don't really want to do. If I'm Damian Lillard, oh yeah, I want to be in this tournament. Are you kidding me? What's the purpose of it? I mean, it's just trying to get more money to the league. That's it. Why? What purpose does this have? So somebody who doesn't have a chance of winning gets a chance to win? If I'm a good team and my players all show up and say, hey, we'll play, even though we don't want to, we'll play in this tournament that means absolutely nothing. Sure, yeah, it'll be great. But again, what's the purpose of it besides having more games and more money? If you wanted to add more games to the season, this is their way of doing it. Okay, this is my second point. The NBA's way of adding more games to make more money is this. Because if you just added more games to 82, when you had all these guys, again, load management, guys don't want to play because we're afraid to get hurt. This is not the way to do it. Take away the back-to-back days that they have, those back-to-back games where they have those days where they play one day and then the next. Take those out of the schedule. If you even out the schedule, you would have no problem. You would not have load management, and your stars would be playing more games than what they do. They wouldn't be sitting out games for rest purposes. I mean, I think Greg Popovich is an amazing coach, Hall of Fame. Obviously, he's won the NBA championship. He's been to the finals several times. He was one of those guys who really started this, and I think it's the worst thing he's ever done for the game of basketball. I really do. And we would pay money to go watch an NBA team. I want to see the stars play. I don't want to see some scrub-a-dub that they had to bring up from the G League to play in a game. I just don't. Like, oh, we're going to bring this guy up and give him a 10-day contract. Bam, here you go. Whoa, kids. Hey, your first NBA game, you don't get to go and see somebody who's really good. You don't get to see Giannis. You get to see hang on, to get the program out. What's his name? What? Oh, that's right. I don't know. He won't be here tomorrow. We just brought him up for the back-to-back thing. I mean, get rid of those. Space out the schedule. Don't have a stupid midseason tournament that makes no sense, and let the guys play. I bet you they'd probably be more likely to want to do that. You would have less of this load management stuff where you're playing, you smash the schedule together and you give several days off. The NBA scheduling is stupid. I think it's probably worse than the rubber bands they use in scheduling and putting districts together for high school sports. Stupid. It's, again, terrible, terrible, terrible. But that's one of the reasons why the NBA is wanting to do this. They want more money coming in. They have to find a way to do that. I don't think it's a way. Another reason. What are we trying to do? We trying to say that we're a worldwide sport? We already have everybody in the world who wants to come here and play in our game. We do. We just had a kid from France be the number one pick from France, not from the United States, from France. We're a worldwide sport. We have the worldwide sport. Basketball is worldwide. They come here to play. The NBA is the top of the food chain. So all these little leagues underneath that are doing all these stupid little midseason tournaments makes no sense. Why? Why do we have to be like them? Like, oh, well, hey, let's try to be like those guys since they're, no. Well, you're trying to attract more European guys to come over here and play? Well, they already want to. Okay. Set up a minor league system in Europe. Add more rounds to the draft. Expand the draft. Do that instead of having 2 rounds. Used to have 7. Used to have 10. Now it's 2. 2. Makes, again, no sense. You want these teams to have claims? Set up like baseball does. Ooh, what a great idea. Okay, you don't put guys on a 40-man roster? Well, somebody else can draft them in a supplemental draft. Great, do something like that. This makes no sense. I still, as much as I've thought about it, this makes no sense. This is the NBA being greedy. Nobody's going to play. I don't see it. Going back to the original point, I don't think guys are going to play. Okay, a winning team, $500,000. I wish I had $500,000. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm an NBA player, winning team, maybe if I'm, some league minimum guy, yeah, $500 is looking really good. If I'm on a rookie contract, it's looking really great. If I'm a superstar, $500, no, I can make that doing anything. I can show up and get my picture taken, put it on a billboard. Great, there's money. I don't see the point in doing this. I think, again, leagues are now trying all this gimmicky stuff to change the game. That's been, something people have enjoyed for years. Now, the NBA to me stands for the NBA. Those three letters stand for not basketball anymore. It just doesn't. They don't play a great style of basketball. The brand is bad. The officiating is not great. It's inconsistent. They let things go that should be called. And from a high school basketball coach, I think those are the things that when kids watch and they turn around and look like, what? That's the travel, son. You took 4 steps. But LeBron does it. Okay, well, that's great. Well, that little step back 3 is a traveling violation. James Harden gets away with it. Great. This isn't the NBA. And the NBA has dug its own hole with the way it's played, it's officiated, the way the athletes are promoted, everything in itself. The number one reason why I don't think this is going to work, like I said, is because guys are not going to want to show up and play in this. They're just not. So the fact that we promote everything around it, every superstar matchup for a commercial. You're not talking about back in the day when it had been the Bulls and the Pistons. You would have been taught, if it was today, it would have been Jordan versus Isaiah. Giannis versus LeBron. We're not talking about the Lakers and the Bucks. We're talking about those guys. That's who we're talking about. And there's that promotion of the stars has allowed this to happen. I think this is going to just increase more of the problems that the NBA has in this type of thing, because guys are just not going to want to be a part of it. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong many of times. Okay. One of the reasons I'm divorced, I'm wrong. But I'm telling you right now, I don't foresee this being a positive thing. I think they totally missed this one, and the NBA is going to see the repercussions. I'm going to say right now, in a few years, unless people just they make these guys play in this tournament, they make them. It's the only way it's going to work. If they make them play, and if they don't make them play and they allow them to say, I'm not going to do it, or teams say, yeah, we're just going to rest our stars, this will be done. This will be done. It'll be a flop. It'll be like Pepsi Clear. It'll be that bad. It'll be that gone quick. And it'll be that look back as a complete missed call. So there's your segue. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Missed Calls with Coach Miller. I look forward to getting back to doing this more and finishing up the summer and this season of this podcast. Tune in for more episodes of the Coach's Box and check out all the other content from all of our other friends and channels like Let's Talk Sports. And we look forward to seeing you guys. You guys have a great week. Hope you guys have an even better weekend. And God bless. We'll see you all later.
Are you tired of boring sports talk shows? Then tune in to the Coach's Box. These guys don't just talk sports. They talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about. Watch new episodes of the Coach's Box each week for free on Facebook, YouTube,